evening, everyone. Welcome back. Another Monday, cold Monday night here, and where we are in Western New York. You know, like about 16 and windy and cold. Going to be like minus 20 tonight, I think, with the wind. High of 5. I love doing the weather. It's just I don't like this weather. Kind of sucks. Robin, how are you today?
Cold.
You're cold.
Yeah, good though.
Yeah, nice to see you here.
Nice to be here.
Feeling all right?
Yep, feeling good.
That's good. I'm glad. Glad to hear that. Wade's here, of course. He's behind the screen doing all that stuff. Wade, you're doing all right over there, my man?
Good.
Doing good? I know. Things are busy right now.
Excited for the show. We got John Anderson.
Yes, things
Hear what he's gonna say.
things are very busy back here right now as we're hooking up with John out in Western Canada. So anyways, yeah, John, well, we'll be talking to him here shortly. I got a little clip for you. We're not going to play it quite yet. So you'll get a little taste of what John's all about. Really, if you've watched any of his videos ever, he is a complete and total he's like a like we call Noel, like a pit bull, he just attacks and he goes after these all of the things that we've always talked about here, whether it be pedophiles, the CPS situation, the corrupt lawyers, judges, the whole thing, the whole system. And John, that's what drew me towards him on the videos, which I also got from a couple friends that we have met through all of this. Once we dove into always with sexual assault survivors, and we've been doing that since day one, but it was starting to become obvious that there was some kind of link between them and CPS issues. It just always seemed, not everyone, but there always seemed to be that little bit of a link there. And thought it was kind of not interesting. It's really not interesting. It's just bizarre that would be a link to that. You wonder sometimes if CPS doesn't prey on the vulnerable in a lot of ways, because we know that's what the predators do. They look at vulnerabilities and take it. So, yeah, I am looking forward to speaking with John, who is coming all the way from Vancouver, British Columbia. Robin, how's it going over there? You're still doing what you do, right? Your job.
Yes.
Yeah. Doing
Getting
good at
the
it.
show out there.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's good. I know. Then, why don't we play the video? Why don't we play this little 30-second? Why don't you, so you guys can see what it is? It's only about 40 seconds long.
I want you all to realize that there are outlets that you can go to. Victims of childhood sexual abuse, even teenagers, there's an outlet you can go to. It's just been opened up. It's buaca.ca. It works just like a social media site. And there's no bullying allowed. You're allowed to express whatever you've been through. You can even name whatever you want. It doesn't matter. You get your story out there. Because a part of the closure for me was getting my story out there. And that did help a lot.
And that's John. That's what I wanted. That's what I saw when I first was brought towards his videos. And there's he's doing that for like an hour, those videos. And he does them, he goes live. He went live earlier this afternoon. And he has a lot of experience in things that have happened. He's brought down pedophiles, all kinds of stuff. I think if shortly here, Wade, just like I did that time in Oregon, maybe I'll call. Give us, yeah. Let me see what's going on here, and then maybe I'll even call if need be. Hold on a second. Let's see. I got to get over to the messages. I don't know what's going on with the internet tonight, Wade. My phone's even jumping around a little wacky. I don't know. Let's see what we can do here. Sign in.
Doesn't it suck when there is a huge monopoly on the internet?
Yes.
I mean, what choice do we have besides Spectrum? It's either you have Spectrum or you don't have internet.
You don't have internet. I hear that Verizon's on the move, getting here. That'd be great if we could get Verizon. That. Two. I know. because back when there was dial-up had all kinds. Remember, there used to be all kinds of stuff. You'd have AOL was probably the biggest, and then I think what the other one. Remember, there's a whole bunch. There's a whole bunch of nets and everything else, and remember you get the free disc in the mail or whatever. Yeah.
Or at the end of the supermarket checkout.
Yeah. You really had a hard time. Remember?
Yeah.
Remember how tough you had it?
Yeah.
Your first time you got an email wasn't that long ago. You know, it wasn't that long. But yeah, the internet and technology sucks. Even though it's great because it connects us all, it kind of sucks. But you know who's here is my guy, John Anderson. Hey, John.
Hey, buddy.
Glad you're with me. Thank you. John Anderson, we played a like a 42-second clip of one of your videos. For anyone that doesn't know, producer, director, actor, been doing it for a long time, and a pit bull if you kind of going after these corrupt everything from pedophiles all the way to the system, CPS, judges, lawyers. How are you, John?
Good. Thanks, buddy.
Happy you're here, man. I've got a question for you.
What's that?
And I'm going to just go right into it right off the bat, man. What made you start going after these people? I mean, you're putting your life on the line. A lot of I've seen all your videos. A lot of threats, a lot of things. What made you do it?
Being a survivor of it myself, and then just seeing the system pretty much fail me when I was a kid, and they still fail to this day. Every kid I see, it's there's barely any convictions compared to the amount of sex offenses that are happening. You know, the amount of them getting away with it is way overweighing the amount of convictions. It's sick, and there's nothing being done about it. It takes survivors to do something about it because the system's lacking, obviously, the ability to make a difference. So obviously the people need to do something.
Yeah, I will tell you, I got drawn to your videos from I believe it was someone we met from Oregon, and they told me you got to watch the videos, and they're outstanding, man. They're great. I love every one of them. I can't miss them. And it's funny, up here we've had the same situation. It's everywhere with pedophiles. With we found, my wife doesn't mind. She's here. Robin's here, but she's doing what she's doing. She was hurt as a child at 9 years old, from the ages of 9 to 12. She held it in. Robin, you don't mind, right?
Nope,
Obviously not. I know you've told the story a million times. For 30 years, and then it finally came out. And once she did, then everyone else. Then there was a bunch of people that started doing it with her, and all of a sudden we got like a community. It feels like of survivors, and yeah, that's the only way to do it, man. We need an army.
Oh yeah, and then I have a half sister I've never met in my entire life, and I've always wanted to meet her. I always knew she existed, and then once I meet her a year and 2 months ago, I find out that she's been through the same shit that I had to, and it's heartbreaking, and that in itself even it makes me wish that I reached out to her earlier so that I could have saved her from it, and it makes me feel like crap.
I'll tell you what, man. I in a room. Now I was not. Thankfully, but I've been in rooms here in our studio here at Gorillas Inc. and stuff where we could have 12, 13, 14 people in a room, and there's only like 2 or 3 that weren't. That's what's crazy. The numbers are staggering, and I wanted to ask you about that. There was one story that I found that was just incredible. You took down a sex offender in Australia. Am I right?
It wasn't me. It was somebody else.
Okay.
It was, I just backed up the guy. It was actually a guy that was losing his organization. And right now I can't bring up the names. I can't even talk about anything other than this guy himself who owns a charitable organization was getting attacked and targeted by so many. And I was just an online viewer watching this. So I stepped in to help him is what I did. And that's how me and him became friends, right? Is by me helping him because he didn't know computers. He was getting slammed left, right, and center because it's so easy. The fact is that you can expose somebody all you want, but as soon as you expose them, they join up with the last one that you exposed. And then the next one you expose, they join up with the last one they exposed. See, every time you expose them, you're building up also a team of people that are just of sick parasites that are attacking you. And that's what was happening to this guy. So the poor guy, I had to help him he's getting attacked by so many sex offenders. So I felt I had to do something. So I did something. It was good. And it
Yeah.
was all because I was a survivor of it myself that made me stand up, and having to think about it every day. Yeah, that's what made me do something about it.
Now you talk openly about PTSD and depression, and yeah, we all deal with it, but you deal with it a little harder. And I know through my wife going through a lot of PTSD stuff through the past and everything. How do you do it, man? How do you hold it? You know
Well,
what I mean? How do you do it?
I'm pretty much a vet when it comes to abuse. And then since 2009, since my daughter was born, I've had to witness child protection issues, and I've seen it firsthand where child protection just tries to step in and take your kids just off a whim or just off something being said, and it's crazy. So it's not only that, and then family court issues. I've seen family members of mine. It just drives me nuts. There's so many problems in so many areas, and nobody says anything about it. But when it comes to PTSD, I feel like I gotta explain some of my story just to help others know that they're not alone and give them more detail. Be myself. Be the guy that actually has the PTSD. Show them that it's okay to express it and to not
Right.
feel ashamed about it, because there's not enough out there that try to help everybody like that, and somebody's got to do it.
No, you're right. The stigma is still there, even though um, it's better, but it's still there. You're right. The embarrassment, the whole thing. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I'll tell you, man, I give you so much credit. I mean, I gave my wife tons of credit. I mean, she stood up
Oh
and did
yeah.
something, and you're doing it. And I give you a lot of credit. And I'm finding survivors every day that reach out to us in our area. Some from out of town, way out of town, but and I realize the survivors are the toughest people I've ever met, because your worst
Mm-hmm.
day is nothing near anything I've ever been through, because I watch it. And I appreciate you coming on here, man, because we have so many watching this show that need to be hooked into where you're at.
The thing with PTSD though is that everybody's got to understand that somebody that suffers PTSD, every day's gonna be the shittiest day of their life. That's what it's like.
Yeah. You know, I
Because
wanted to ask.
you're fighting every day.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you something. Um, this was amazing, and this is about the pedophile sexual assault stuff. There was a guy, I don't know if you saw this guy, you might not have. He was at university down here, Old Dominion, I think in Virginia. He was trying to change the word pedophilia. He thought that word was bad. You shouldn't call people pedophiles no more. He wants that to be minor attracted persons. I'll tell you, man, it's insane. But that's shit that was going around. I mean, it's out there. I don't know.
You know why you got to fight? The fact is, here's what everybody's got to know: is what they're trying to do is they're trying to fit this in with the LGBTQ community. They're trying to make this stuff like it's a mental disorder. The government and all these so-called professionals, they're already starting to come out and say, oh, it's nothing more than a mental disorder, so it should be classified as a mental disorder. And that's how they're trying to make it okay.
Right.
And I think that if people are just going to sit there and allow these people to put it out there and not do anything about it, they're just going to let this happen. You're going to let that be just a disorder of some sort, or a type of sexual preference labeled
It's not,
as? No.
no. Yeah.
I'm
No.
not gonna. I'll die before I let that happen. I got a daughter to worry about. I'm not letting
Right.
her grow up in a world where that's a sexual preference. I'm sorry.
Yeah, same here. Same for everyone in this room. There's no way. There's two. That's nuts. I can't. I read this thing and I know it happened. I think last year. This professor and it was while I was preparing for you to come on my show, and I'm like, I can't believe what I can't believe what I just saw or read. I probably am behind the times on that, because it seems like this has been going on after I read a little more last 5-6 years, trying to turn it into a preference. And man, that's fucking sick. It really is. It's really sick. The next question I got for you is CPS. We started in, it's funny.
Mm-hmm.
It's all been sexual assault survivors with us and rape victims, whether they were children or adult, and it all seemed to then go into CPS. And I don't understand, man. Do you find any of that kind of correlation, or is it just me? It just feels like the CPS is always in there somewhere. When it comes
Some
to
way.
this.
It's because there's dirty hands involved. There's a lot of people. You think there's sex offenders that'll sign up that have no convictions to be foster parents. There's going to be sex offenders that apply to be officers that have no criminal record. Like they try so many different ways to hide because they're cunning that way. And there's going to be ones that try to be social workers. It's everywhere. Child welfare workers. And then it goes really deep in some places. In some places it's not. Child protection's really good. They do their job. And it just depends on the pickings. How many evil people are in one building,
Right.
technically.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
John,
it is happening. And I've noticed that child protection, they seem to be in the majority doing the opposite, and leaving children in the arms of a suspected or a convicted sex offender. It's getting ridiculous. And I don't know why.
Yeah, John, we us here in this studio, we found someone who came. It's the first story we ever had. A woman I got in touch with us from Oregon, having a horror. It's exactly what you just said. The child has been taken from her. It's been over a year now, given to the predator who hurt the child, and we were horrified. We never heard that story. Maybe here up where we're at, we don't hear it, but now we're starting to. Because we also have here in our county, the lawyer for at the time for social services, and now has 11 counts of rape on him. So like it was all just intertwined. And how many of these cases do you see? Are you getting a lot of them? Do you get involved in them? Do you know how to fight CPS at all, or?
I know a lot of advice of exposing CPS. I know the one thing they hate, and that's the one thing that I utilized back in the day, and it's kept them completely away ever since, was publicity. They really don't like getting known for taking families apart because the rest of their family doesn't want them to be all over the internet or social media or in the mainstream media for what they're doing to families, stripping them apart, damaging the minds of these children and innocent families. That's the one thing they hate, is to go down being recognized as something like that.
Yeah. Robin, how's everything going over there in the message board?
Good. We've got a lot of survivors in here that are listening and supportive and loving John's message
Okay,
now.
great. Good. I'm glad they're all in there listening tonight. John, how about threats? How many threats have you gotten? A lot? Do you get them?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's always going to be some sociopath because it's all they can do. And they stalk you all the time. They obsessively watch every video. I'm telling you, when you do this, stalkers, pedophiles, they become your greatest fan.
Wow. Yeah. Wade, my partner Wade over here. We've had our moments.
Yeah.
Where we've done something. Yeah, and for some reason they go to you, Wade, a little more, a little more. But sorry. No, I know. So after you fight back against CPS, they don't like to be exposed, right? They don't want their shame to be shown, or at least their family doesn't want that.
No, they start to work with you a little more is what they'll do. They'll give you a few loops and bounds to go over just so that they cover their ass and don't just hand the child back to you. But they'll make it a lot easier when you're starting to say you're going public and show them that you're going public. But you do it professionally. You don't go in there screaming like a banshee, right?
It's hard. It's got to be hard not to, though. You know what I mean?
It is.
It's so emotional.
You got to record every phone call, every court case, every proceeding, every call with your lawyer, and you got to keep all of that, because if it goes sideways when you got all the evidence, well, hey, you got all the phone calls and you got everything to provide proof that they shafted you. So you might as well shaft the system back with everything you got.
Yeah. Now, you have a quote, and it might be self-explanatory, but it's a good one. You were talking, I think, about what you do, your videos, You said it's all about keeping the people aware, safe, and knowing who is danger. I guess
Oh
that's
yeah,
about it.
it's if nobody says anything, how the heck are you gonna know who to avoid and who to stay away from? If we don't say nothing about any type of danger with another parasite or sociopath that we've experienced, well, then you're just leaving some other poor innocent person to come across this idiot who's just going to do the same thing to some other innocent person. So if you don't go out and speak out about it, you're just allowing it to happen to somebody else.
Yeah, yeah, it's so far. I'll tell you, man, it's heartbreaking. I know you're a survivor. You survived it. And I sit here many times, man, looking at survivors and talking to them, and I can't even imagine. Uh, my wife's one of them. How the nightmares, the stuff that I've witnessed through her. Uh, and you battle it every day, like you said, every single day you got to battle this.
Oh, every day.
Yeah,
I'm trying to build a relationship with my half sister, and she's going through her own issues with the system herself. And it's really hard for me to deal with it. It triggers a lot of stuff, a lot of past issues as well. And it's really hard when the system or the so-called court under God is trying to take away something that we're trying to build. It's sick. It's sick.
that
And
system's
it's
kind of
embarrassing.
yeah, that system's built that way too. Like people try to say it's broken. I don't think it is. I think it's exactly how they wanted it. It's
Oh
perfect. I
yeah,
mean,
it's like
that's what
that
they
because
do.
how are you gonna make
Yeah,
money? If you
right.
let the children have a voice in the beginning, well, they're then obviously the case ain't gonna last that long. But if you don't give the kids a voice right away, and you drag it on affidavit after affidavit after affidavit, just with bullshit lies and all this, and keep it going. Well, there's more money. There's more money in filing. There's more money in just reading freaking emails. There's more money in responding to emails. That's how these lawyers make money. Even reading an email, they charge you just to read an email.
Yeah.
They'll charge you to send an email. Every single email. That's how sick it is, and it's excruciatingly expensive. And that's what happens to both sides. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And it's just that's
Oh,
how they're making all this money off of tearing families apart and hold them apart. Because the longer they hold them apart, the more money they make. That's why you see them driving fancy cars. Judges are so well respected because it's more of the figure and how much money they make that gets them the respect from the rest of their other colleagues, and it's disgusting.
you know what I always found disgusting too. Oh, go ahead,
Oh,
Robin. Go ahead.
I just have a quick question on that. I've heard that there's like bonuses in certain places for CPS workers to put children into foster care. Have you heard anything like that?
I've heard of that. I've seen posts with evidence, and I've seen actual judges getting busted for stuff like that. If you look it up, there are judges
Oh.
in the States that have already been busted for getting bonuses for child apprehensions, and same as child protective services.
You know, one thing that I find super disgusting. I don't know what it's here in the U.S. A guy, a woman, whatever, the pedophile, the predator, can do whatever they're going to do to a kid, adult, whatever, and then they run out the clock, and you can't even do nothing about it. I mean, they win. Like it's okay. They hurt you when you were 9 years old. You got it. You know, I'll message you up, of course, and you don't say nothing. Now you don't say nothing because you don't, and if something gets said maybe 20 years from now, and they're fine. It doesn't matter. It's disgusting. I watched people go to civil court, you know, because that's the only way they can get at them. So they go to civil court. They get no money, but the guy will
Mm-hmm.
admit, yes, I did that, and he walks out a free man. Like there's nothing, not even a
I
registry.
know.
It's sick. I know,
Oh, you,
John.
you steal a candy bar, you're gonna go to jail. But you
Right.
fondle somebody, you just get a slap on the wrist.
You run out the clock. It's crazy that you're able to do that. Here in New York State, they did kind of a great thing. It was called the Child Victims Act, and they let everybody and anybody that was hurt as a child could go back. It didn't matter how many years. And it was only civilly, of course, because God forbid they do it criminally. But they let anybody. I don't care if it happened to you in the '60s, and it was great. It was kind of, it was not, it was good. You know, it was good. I think it got some people. Definitely, I saw some survivors get to, you know, at least do that, and then they just let it go away. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They actually gave that an expiration date. So,
Or they cover it up, or they pay the media to not publish anything. It's sick as shit.
yeah. So,
There's
so
so much
John,
more protection of a sex offender when you step back and look at this planet as an entire. Like if you were just out in outer space, if you were God looking down at this place, you're going to see more protection of sex offenders than you will ever see of support for survivors of sex offenses, or
yeah,
the children that had to deal with these sex offenses. That's what the problem is.
it is. You're right,
And
because
that's a
some of the
fact.
it is because some of the survivors, including my own wife, had taken um some really good victim shaming. You know, basically saying stuff. They don't even care. People's, why did you take so long to talk? Why did you do it? Man, I can't even believe some of this stuff I hear from people, and it's supposed to, and some of it really gets crazy because there'll be people I know personally, and then I don't want to know them no more because I can't believe you just said that. But you're right. There's more people, and Robin, you know this. There's more people that are willing to stick up for them. They get mad, oh, you're going to bring them to civil court for money. What do I care if I take money from a pedophile?
Right.
Screw them.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. So, all right. So,
That's,
John.
that's the
Go ahead.
least they could do.
Yeah.
I mean, is have some accountability. If the criminal system isn't going to hold them accountable, somebody has to.
Yeah. So, John, before I let you go, and I appreciate you being with me, man, what are you up to? Where do I find your videos? Where do my audience here, all the survivors, where can they find you?
I'm a member of silvermanslim.com,
Okay.
and I founded it, but I had to pull back from it. But you can always find me there and on facebook.com/Mafia Joe, and that's just J-O. Very easy to find me.
And we'll see all your videos, and you got to watch them if you haven't
Yes.
seen
And
them.
that working on the documentary too, getting people's voices out, and that's going to be an ongoing thing. It's going to be listed on IMDb. Everybody can check it out there too as well.
That's great.
So yeah,
John?
man, I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff. It's going to blow the court system away. That's for sure.
Well, we're going to keep it. I hope we can continue to talk, bring you on every so often and get an update on what's
Why
going on
not?
because we need to, because, that's the one good thing about the internet and I hate it. But the fact that I could connect with you all the way out where you are and we got the like-minded, maybe that is how the army gets built. I don't know. Something's got to change. But
It's easy to build an army, my friend. It's easy to be a speaker and leader. Just got to be yourself and just know that if you want to pull in the people that have been where you are, you just got to speak from the heart and just exactly be just like them because you are. And so that's all I'm putting out there. And that's what the people need. They need that shit. They need to have somebody that's real, right? That's seriously going to go out there and bark at the system. And I'm going to put it together in such a way where it's going to look like they're going to have no choice but to change, because it's going to be ongoing documentary series, story after story after story of everybody that's been losing their kid with false pretenses. Man, they're going to have a lot of compensation to make up for.
And are you looking for people? Would you want more stories? You know what I mean?
Always looking for more.
Great. Wow, this is outstanding, man. I can't wait to. I got to keep in touch with you because the things you're saying and the things we want to do where we're at are very similar.
Nice.
But you got more experience, and we need to draw from you, and maybe we can do something. But John, I appreciate you. I really want everyone to go find his old videos, all the videos, because you need to hear them.
Likewise.
And yeah, they're incredible. The videos, you got to hear them. And John, I thank you for being with us tonight, man.
Thanks for what
thank you,
John.
buddy. Bring me on anytime.
Thanks. Take care. And
Yeah,
that's John Anderson. Geez. We try to do a lot of things here at Gorillas Inc. And we do. And we're kind of in our infancy, I guess you'd say, in a lot of ways. How much, we haven't been here, honestly, it hasn't even been a year that Gorillas Inc.'s been in existence. And we've tried to, do these types of things, I guess you'd say. I mean, expose what we can, try to save whatever we can do in our own community, but even out in the country, wherever, because we branch out. We just don't stay here in Niagara County, But John Anderson is really someone that I think I'm gonna start putting links up for him too, because I think it's something people need to see and hear. He's got a whole different way of talking than we talk, than even that we are, because he comes from it though too. I mean, he's got more of a story if you go listen to all of his videos. They're usually about an hour long, but they're really, really. He's got that like we talk about with Noel here with us. He's an attack. He's gonna attack you.
Yeah.
He's a pit bull. He's gonna come for you, and that's what you need, because a lot of times I think there's survivors that are, and of course there's people. You get intimidated by this system that's huge. Robin, anything?
Speaking of Noelle, she just said you guys are the only real news media outlet here. All the other podcasts allow sex offenders on to work for them.
Yeah, thank you, Noel. We will never have that here, ever.
Yeah, no.
Along with a lot of other things we'll never have here, because it ain't worth it. But thank you to her. John Anderson blows me away. I don't know. There's something about it when I saw him, and someone hooked me up with the videos, and I don't know. It's just I think there's something about him being an advocate for a lot of people like that are in the situations. You kind of need it, man. And he's got all those things that we talk about: PTSDs, depression, nightmares, the whole deal. And what a perfect guy, all the way out there in British Columbia, Vancouver. But that's what's great about the internet now, though. Look at who we've matched up with.
Right.
We've talked to John out there in British Columbia. We got to talk to our friend who's running for Congress in Virginia.
Right, Kimberly Love.
Yeah, we got to talk with her. Oregon, Mrs.
Sarah
Kirkpatrick, her. People from all over we're getting to talk to. And I think with CPS stuff, along with Survivor stuff, and I think that's the core of what we do here, really, when you think about it.
Oh, definitely is.
It's beyond the city council in Niagara Falls or any of that stuff, or Niagara County's legislature. I mean, yes, of course, we're going to talk about that here after the break in a minute. But that's what we do, and I'm happy, and I'm glad you guys do it with us all together, and everyone out there that's with us. All right, why don't we take a break? I gotta have some water and calm down. All right, I'll be back. We'll be back. And we're back, and thank you to the sponsors. I was looking through the phone as we were on break there, and I was trying to figure out how did I find where John Anderson was, and it was from Carla Peary. She's from Virginia. We got to know her through the same things we're all going through here, CPS stuff, all the, all of that. And she's the one who said, "You guys need to watch this." And I'm glad she did. It's great. I think we got more work to be done
Yes.
with John, of course.
It's encouraging that there's other people out there doing the work in, all over the place.
Yeah, isn't it something? It is something, though, because everyone that we've come across, almost in every community, I think about out in Oregon, you think out in Virginia, there's something going on in Georgia that we know of. It's all this kind of the same.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, maybe they don't have a D'Angelo or something, but maybe they do. But maybe they don't, whatever. But everyone has their thing. And all of it's based in, well, it'd be corruption of one way or another.
Right.
And we've been screaming about Niagara County corruption forever.
Yes.
And I'm glad people are starting to really witness it for themselves. And Niagara Falls, city of Niagara Falls corruption, city of Lockport, all of them, they're all bad. And a lot of it is because we're small. I do think it's easier in a smaller place because think about it. If I'm whatever I am, I'll be a mayor, a legislator, whatever. If I'm able to get enough jobs for people, I'll have their whole family forever.
Right.
You know what I mean? Think about it. If I can do that, I will have that vote. You can count the votes. You're good. So, and that's why we need term limits here, because it's outrageous in a city this size. And we need some other things like district counseling, but God forbid. Robin, I need your help.
Sure.
We had a letter last week that came out about the city clerk. Her last name is Ligamari, and it was all that. We read it and all that stuff. And had some good show. Our show, a couple thousand people watched it, and my source down in City Hall said that they were talking, a lot of talk about what happened here. Well, another letter came out, and do you mind reading this letter?
No problem.
Take a break in between on some of it.
I will.
We might have to break it down.
Okay.
Like poor John Madden passed away, and it's sad, obviously. But he was in his 80s. But still, he got to see the show. He got to see his thing.
Yeah,
his documentary. Isn't that something?
That was great, yeah.
I mean, and he passed away suddenly at 80 years old.
Yeah, 85.
85, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well, the reason is we got to break this down like Madden. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay, I'm ready. All right. So, dear fellow Democrats.
Problem right there. Stop. That right there should say, dear fellow failed organization. Dear fellow members of this failed organization okay, proceed. That's how I started.
Last month, I got a letter with 2 newspaper articles. The first was a 2008 article saying our mayor, Robert Restaino, was removed from the bench for jailing 46 people over a cell phone in his courtroom. Lunacy.
Okay. Now think about that. 2008 is when the state removed him, right, from city court. Yeah, all right. He was removed.
Proud moment for everyone.
Yeah, he was removed, and but he was fine. I mean, removed, but nothing. There was no nothing. Okay, he'd go on, be a lawyer, do whatever, run for stuff.
And they protected him from any civil suits.
Everything was good. We're good. We're all good. He runs for assembly. He loses that. He runs for board of education. Wins that. Then he runs for mayor. Did we forget? This comes up now in this letter? Why now? You're telling me this matters now? Didn't it matter in when? Did it matter in 19? You know what I'm trying to say? This letter feels like a buyer's remorse kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's fine because we get a lot of that.
Right.
We get a lot of apologies and a lot of, you were rights and oh my God, I can't believe this. Go ahead, Robin. I'm sorry.
The second was a Niagara Gazette article detailing his appointed city clerk, Kathleen Ligamari, of fraud. She filed fraudulent documents with the New York County Board of Elections and New York State Board of Elections.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, and it was in there, and it was, and the Libertarian Party of New York State banned her and the other guy for like 10 years from holding any position in within the party, and also the chairman of the state. That's he said we're not for sale type thing, because obviously she gave her endorsement in the line to the mayor. The mayor gets the mayor, the current mayor. So, and remember, the mayor fires or gets rid of the old city clerk, who I think was at that time, her last name was Vitello. She might have been the Niagara Falls city chairman at the time. And I think that's when we usher in that other one, De Palma.
Right.
After she, whatever happens there. No, that's wrong, because she's not in city clerk. That'd just be for the. But then, okay, so he hires her from Libertarians. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
This week, the mayor's brother, John Restaino, a local talk show host, read the letter and newspaper articles live on the air. Nothing done.
Yeah, well, about 2,200 people viewed it, I think, and maybe probably more as we move on. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what more could be done, because if you came to this show, I've been saying this since I was at WJGL
I
in
was just gonna say, longer than the
2007
show
or
has been the
8. I
show.
mean, it had nothing to do with anything being a mayor.
Right.
But okay, go ahead.
Yes, Mayor Restaino winks and nods at Ligamari's documented fraud. The mayor is clearly complicit in this betrayal of the public trust and must be removed again, as he clearly has no moral compass.
Just found that out now. Remember, right here in 2021. Okay, sorry.
Call the clerk's office and let the mayor and clerk know that this fraud must be held accountable. Signed, Disgusted in Niagara Falls.
Yeah. They want to recall. I don't know. We don't have a recall. I don't think we do that like they do the governors in Wisconsin and stuff. I don't know. That's something. I don't know if the charter has about that. I have to look. How do you impeach or get rid of or start the process? I don't know. It'd be an interesting process. Never going to start, but I'm just saying. I mean, that part of that is really something. That now, and I'm look at whoever wrote this letter, poor Democrat. I get it. That's fine. I mean, I'm all for the letter. It's great. Whatever. I don't care. My whole point is, though, not the person who wrote this letter, because I can't say that, because I don't even know who the hell it is. How is that 2008 article just popping up and meaning anything now in 2021 or 2022? Where the hell am I? You know what I mean? Like, what about?
I feel like it only means something to people when it shows up at their own doorstep.
How many times have we said that about stuff in this studio? Whether it's all the way, and any corrupt activity,
right,
continues to go on with everyone's eyes closed unless it hits them.
Right.
So I'm just going to assume, could be wrong, and I'm sure I'll be told I'm wrong later, this letter is from somebody who's, I don't know, there's got to be a disgruntled feeling, an anger. They're trying to be a truth teller, maybe. I don't know. And that's good.
And that's good. Yeah, I mean,
I'm for
everybody's
that.
got to open their eyes for the
Sooner
first
or
time
later.
at some point. But then don't pretend like you've had your eyes open forever.
Yeah, you couldn't have, because, you had an election here, and elections have consequences, as we've learned. And in 2019, Democrats, you had a primary, and you elected this current mayor. I mean, and you had the other guy who was certainly Piccarello, who was no, the options weren't outstanding, but he reminded everyone of what happened several times. It wasn't like he hit himself. He told everyone. So you can't tell me you didn't know what happened back in 2005 or 6, and then what happens in 2008 when there's a removal. I don't know if that's really good enough to have in that letter. I don't know if it's worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, what does it mean? Yeah, no kidding. No kidding that happened. You know what? The whole world knew that happened because it was on every newspaper from the LA Times to the Australian News.
Mm-hmm.
It was on David Letterman. It was on a lot of places.
Yeah.
And so what? I mean, I don't know. And I'm not certainly not sticking not sticking up for the mayor one bit. I don't know what to tell you. What's going to happen next time? There's an election in 2023.
Well, hopefully these people are going to keep speaking and keep, opening the eyes of other people.
They're already getting their campaigns fundraised.
Right.
As we see at Lockport mayors. Hers is happening, I believe, next week. We've seen your brother over there
A couple times already.
Oh my God, he's got well over $100,000 go for this upcoming campaign. And we still got 2 years before he even has to. We don't even know if he's going to have to run in a primary. So 2 years before the general election, and he's already got $100,000.
Yeah, 160, I think it is. Yeah, to run in this city of 48,000 people, where I honestly believe I could do it with 500. I mean, I don't know. I think we could do it. I think if you worked hard enough and you used social media for what it's worth.
Yeah.
Right. I think you can. I mean, I don't know. But it just depends on who your audience is, I guess,
Right.
If the audience is other than the people that live here, well, then it's a different story. But remember, when you're at a place that has 28% poverty rate level and the country's at 12%, and you're running around doing these high-priced things, obviously the residents aren't coming.
Right.
They can't.
You
How
don't
can they
want
afford
the
it?
residents.
No. But you
We put people in office who want to shrink our city instead of grow it. They want less residents.
that is an incredible statement when that was made. Yes, I will never forget hearing that we want less people. I was stunned, but I guess I shouldn't be or shocked. Now, this letter that was written, yeah, I mean, there's no doubt the issues that the Kathleen Ligamari has there should be good enough to remove her as city clerk. But you got to remember the playbook, man. It's the Niagara County Legislature all over again, constantly here. The guy in NT was the clerk. He messed up so bad that they stepped in from New York State and said, you misappropriated whatever you did out of the general fund, $1 million. Don't know where it is. We're at zero, and the county snatched him up and put him in there as a clerk.
Yeah.
At a raise. So
he's doing what they're looking for.
I feel like Niagara Falls is headed in the same direction as the legislature. Yeah. I'm watching public information officers. I'm hearing that they're going to do some nutty stuff with the speaking at the council meetings, where they're going to make you wait till the end of the meeting, which makes it just so you can't, people might not be able to stay. I've also, you've seen the fact that you can't speak to anyone. You can't talk to a department head, nor the police, nor the fire. So it seems as though that's where we're kind of headed down the same road that they were over there. And as far as the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, they are failures and they're failed organizations. It's just the way it is. There's no way around it. You can't. I'm sorry. In this county, in Niagara Falls, I don't even talk about the country, you see the failure. It's right in front of your eyes. And I think at some point we got to think about jumping away from the constant thinking, political party wise. Because if you look in Niagara Falls, let's stay here. It's littered with Democrats and Republicans that have done damage here over and over. Is there anything, Robin, you need going on in there? No, we're good. All right. Something else coming up in the city. This is an interesting one, and this was given to me by an anonymous source, but I think I already knew this, but I think they were just trying to remind me. Chief Judge, City Court Judge Violani retired. So there's got to be a new one. And that comes at a $10,000, I believe, pay raise. And the mayor gets to do it. It's his choice. So let's think. But there's someone in there, I think it's Vitello, who has the most seniority of the group. So you'd figure that's who it's going to be.
I wonder.
Could be Faso.
Yeah, could be. Why not?
Maybe just go off the board.
Yeah.
So he doesn't look like nepotism, which
right.
I can't imagine he'd be worried about. But let's just say, and that would be the perfect.
Yeah, that would.
Not that it even matters, Chief Judge, whatever. I mean, it's the $10,000.
Right.
I think they still do the same. I mean, they must still have the same court, what do you call it? cases and everything else. Maybe it's just the prestige of it all.
Oh yeah.
I thought it rotated, but I guess it didn't. I don't know.
In the head, asshole.
Oh, yeah. Well, I So I don't know. I that letter fired me up. The one last week did, and then this one. I like everything about it, but when they bring up 2000, whatever it was, 8, 6, whenever the actual act happened, that drives me nuts because honestly, that was on the ballot and it was voted for.
Right.
So at this point in time, I got no more to say about that incident. I don't. I'm sorry. We had it. It was right there. Everyone, they tried to make, well, the one guy, Piccarello, tried to make a story out of it. I wrote a letter, for God's sakes, in the paper that we popped up the other day.
Yeah.
Not so much about that, but about other stuff. And everyone looked at it, and everyone decided we affirm it. We're good with it. We're good. Oh, that's it, man. Don't try and use that as an excuse for any kind of misdeeds or whatever you want to say, or corruption. It was all laid out there for us to reject, and we did not. Actually, we resoundingly elected. Think about it, remember?
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a beating. I mean, they knew by 9:01 that it was over.
Right.
All the guys combined couldn't beat them. So, I don't know. I mean, the elections do have a consequence, and at some point, hopefully, people will, kind of like shake themselves, right? I mean, and maybe maybe the switch. I will say this: I am noticing this is positive. I've never seen so many people seem to be involved,
right,
in one way or another, whether it's the Survivor stuff we do, or CPS things, and even just this. I'm seeing a little bit of something maybe that's happening. What do you think?
Yeah, it's possible.
It seems like there's a little bit of a bubbling up.
I think there is. I think people are tired of it. I think there comes a point where you've got nothing to lose anymore. And so you just get to the point where you just say, I got to jump on this train because...
That was my point when I did the write-in candidacy, and I could care less. I knew what it was going to be. I knew you... But what the hell you got to lose?
Right.
You just going to keep going with the same people, or are you going to make a change?
Exactly.
And I think someday if I were to ever run, that's all it's going to be my motto. What the hell you got? What's the difference? Yeah. You could almost say, vote for me. What the hell's the difference? Or what do you got to lose? But I don't know if that's ever going to happen. But I just feel it. But then I hope that you know why it doesn't work? That letter there says my fellow Democrats. That's where it loses me, because it should be my fellow citizen. It should be everyone. Right. The Democrats are a failed organization, just like the Republicans.
Right.
And we need to address the people, right? Maybe, and not the failed organizations that they just keep on going. I mean, they just they keep making their money. They keep doing what they do.
That's how we keep getting stuck in the same place, because everybody just says, "Oh, I got to vote Democrat or I got to vote Republican," and everybody that's not voting that way is wrong and bad. And instead, I mean, we need to look and just realize that it's people. These failed organizations don't reflect anything about who the candidates are, other than that they're just willing to fall in line with what they say.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, this place here, when you're talking Lockport, Niagara Falls, North Tonawanda, the legislature itself, you've got to be crazy to think that the Democrats or Republicans could change a damn thing. There will be 4 Republicans on that or 3, and one who I don't know what he is, and a guy who's a Democrat. They're not going to do what are they going to do? Nothing's going to change. Big deal. Oh, we got a Republican majority. Who cares? It means nothing. It means nothing at all. This guy has spent, the mayor, $1.6 million in spending, right? And all the different things we talked about when the budget came out, not a peep.
Right.
Not a word. out of my Republican failed organization friends. They say nothing.
Because what can they say?
Well, yeah, right. What can they say? Because it's all the same goddamn thing. It really is.
Yes.
So
Dawn just said in the message board, and this is great. Our city is basically being held hostage by these people.
oh yeah. Yeah, and it's easy to do because when you have a poverty rate of 28%, who the hell has time or you're just Jesus, we've talked about this before, but the homeless people on the street in Niagara Falls is something like I've never seen in my entire life here. It's 28% poverty, and not one person that ran talked about rent, talked about anything of that sort. We worried about bed and breakfast. Well, guess what bed and breakfast I think may have done? They may have raised the rent around here. I don't know. But when you're telling me we're 28% poverty and we have nothing going on yet at all, and people next door to me's rent is $1,100 a month?
Right.
That's just way too damn high, as that guy said who ran for governor that time. But it really is. Rent is a big problem. And when that guy said that, he was making a joke, but maybe he wasn't. He was just trying to be seen. It's kind of what it is here. How can you expect, unless New York State's paying for it, that's the only way.
Right.
That someone could afford $1,100 a month, $900 a month even in Niagara Falls. $900 a month's like an apartment. You want a whole house, it's going to be $1,100.
Yeah.
Whoa. I mean, they can't. People aren't even making $30,000 a year.
Right.
I don't get it, man. But that's got to be something that hopefully maybe one of these people say something. I don't know. Whatever. John Anderson was great today. I will tell you that. He was great. He looked like he was probably tired. I think I just saw when he does his videos, he's got a lot of energy going. And he was doing one around 4 o'clock our time. I guess it'd be 1 o'clock his.
Right.
And so, I mean, I would reach out to him. I'm going to put some links up because he's doing documentaries on CPS issues, it sounds like, right? Is that what he said? So we got people here. Get in contact with him. You know what I mean? Do it. We're doing them the best we can, and I know we need to jump on with. He's there. He's looking for stories. You go to that site. He said, I think it was silverslim.com, whatever. We'll put it up to later on and go check it out. Time flew and I knew it would, so let's try to. I guess we should wrap it up here. Do we do our final thoughts? No, yeah, we usually do, right? And then I read up stuff. Why don't you hand that over? Let's get Wade's final thoughts for this evening. And fast show.
Yeah, really fast show. It was entertaining. John Anderson, thanks for joining. I'm excited to talk to you in the future. And hopefully we can have a Zoom meeting, business meeting or something along the sorts. So thanks for everybody for watching. Remember also with Elena DiPaolo, she is still looking for a kidney transplant donor. So if you can possibly be that person, you might be able to save a life here and save a family. Then, yeah. So basically, if you are O positive, O negative, A positive, A negative, just try to take the test, see if you are compatible, and if you are compatible, then you can maybe do something that'll be absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
So once again, thanks John Anderson. Thanks everybody for watching. Here's Robin.
Oh, don't forget share Elena's thing if you can. Go ahead, Robin.
Absolutely. I second everything Wade said about Elena. Please, if you haven't heard the story yet, read it on our Facebook pages. If you can help. If you can't, please share it. John Anderson was fantastic. I look forward to more information from him and direction as far as what he is doing. And as far as the mayor goes, in this letter, you get what you vote for, I guess. And hopefully at some point we learn that lesson.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, hopefully. That's all you can. Hopefully, we've had many chances to learn lessons, but you know what's sad is corruption and money always win out. Maybe this time it won't for us.
Yeah. Well, let's see.
You know what? I guess I should read my numbers now that we do every night. The YWCA here in Niagara County, The phone number is 433-6714. 433-6714. The YWCA, it has counselors there standing by to talk to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They will also counsel you once a week from your home. You don't have to leave. They'll call you. And they're incredible. They're all professionals. It's free of charge. If you've ever been, raped, sexually assaulted, I don't care if it was 50 years ago, if it's happening right now, get a hold of the YWCA. They are there to help you. We have advocates are there. They'll go with you to the hospital. They'll go with you to a doctor's appointment. They'll go with you to court. They'll go with you to the police station. Anything you need, the YWCA is there. Anywhere in the country, anywhere up in Canada, there's a YWCA almost in every county in the United States, and they're up in Canada, definitely in the provinces, but even in their, I don't even call them states up there. What the hell they call them? But anyways, the YWCA. We've talked about mental health with John Anderson, and we've been talking about this for a long time, about depression, PTSDs, night tremors, nightmares, suicidal thoughts, just feeling horrible, don't want to get out of bed, life sucks. 1-800-662-4357, 1-800-662-4357. They're there every day, 24 hours a day. They will get you in touch with someone nearby, but also just talk to you and talk to you and talk to you. They'll never go away. There's always someone there. And don't feel bad. Like John said, we talked to. Let the stigma go away. There's nothing to be ashamed of. It's time to just beat it. And I think that's what we're going to do. So let's wrap it up for the night. Tomorrow we're going to have Gorillas Inc. Views, 6 o'clock, right? It goes out. Well, let me see. We got Goal Getters on Friday at 6. We'll have, of course, Charlie and Chris, Falls Count Anywhere, at 2 o'clock on Saturday. And that's it. We should go. Good night, everyone.